internet can totally see you now. Alrighty, howdy, Beefalo Bart here, and welcome. Tonight's video is going to be tinkering around with the Paragon Project stuff a little bit, and I'm not going to get too in depth, but I figure we'll screw around just a little bit. To do a quick recap of what we have already in game is we had play. She does her basic animation for the start montage. We have a target dummy, which we can hit. There's no sound. It does say on the screen, ouch, damn it, that hurt. You hit him 4 times and he dies. Alright, cool. So we've also added in a pain block so we can cause some damage, so we can test out our horribly ugly healing kits or med kits or whatever you want to consider them to be. But as you can see also, we have a health regen system going as well. We tweaked her jump ability to be a little bit higher, and just for the giggles, added in a launch pad. Still, if you ask me, there's a whole lack of sounds. It is nice that when you walk over that, it does make some sound and it has an effect to it. And you do have the sword attack, and then you can double click and get the combo attack. So, okay. What can we do to add a little bit of fun here? Well, the first thing I'm going to do, and I've already done it actually, is go into the project settings, and we're going to go to input. We want to add a new action mapping, and I found a key just called fast cast F. So when you hit the F key, you can just cast something or do something with it. Later what I'll do is probably utilize the 1, 2, 3, 4, the regular number keys to do that. But alright, what can we do? What can we test out here? So definitely going to need my player blueprint open. That's a must. But figure just for the heck of it, let's add some taunts. She's got 4 that I've seen so far in the characters, heroes, and we're in Decker. We're not in the right one. We need to be in Shinbi. Characters, heroes, Shinbi, and we have sounds, and we have animations. And inside the animations, we've got a couple abilities like dash, and I will get to using dash here soon. There is one thing I've got to coordinate is whenever she does her dash ability. I didn't know what it was. I had to look it up. So when she performs this ability, it has the nice effects and everything to go along with it, but it's supposed to launch her forward towards the target and do damage and so forth. So I'll work on a good way of doing that. And the circling walls ability, I'm assuming that's just a regular AoE attack. But we have emote blow a kiss. That's nice. We have booyah. Alrighty then. And the happy clap. So it sounds like something you get into a, oh, never mind. We're not going to go there. So, yeah. And emote peace. Lovely. So, they each have their own animation. They each have a different time length. This is 4.2. It's 5 seconds. 4.6. And 5.4. So they all have different time frames to actually do those animations. So do we want to have one key for each one? Well, I figure for tonight we'll screw around with something simple yet complex in its own way. That yeah, those cubes over there are just like freaking out. We'll use the F key temporarily, and we'll use that as a randomizer. It'll pick one of those 4 and it'll just randomly play any of those 4 from that list. Just curious also, she has the emotes, blow a kiss, booyah, happy clap, and the other one. Is there a sound file that might be attached to it as well? Alright, so quick look here and see what we've got. We have death. We have all kind of sound cues here.
To all my fans.
Well, that's for a kiss.
To all my fans.
So I'm assuming that that would be a yes. And if I just look at the sound files themselves, I could just use a sound file attached to each one of those emotes, or taunts, whatever you want to call them. You know, cheer. There's 3 different cheers here. And you got different emotes.
Who's Amita's favorite pop star? Oh, it's me.
Okay. Alright, so we'll worry about the sounds later. Let's actually go ahead and see if we can start tying in these animations. So what we're going to want to do is find us a clear spot to work with. This is going to take up a little bit of space. And start off with, we need to hit F, or fast cast F, for our binding to start casting with. We're going to have to create some variables and do some things here in order to organize them. It's probably a better way, like doing an array element. Never really messed much with array elements, and I need to learn more of it, so we'll see. So when we press it, we'll start off with 1, and then we'll grow it from there. What we want to do is we want to naturally play animation. So we'll play an animation to start off with. Like I said, this is just to get us going here. And the animation that we want to play, I'm actually going to find it here. And the first one is blow a kiss. Emote blow kiss. So I'm going to select it here, go back up here, and then just hit the arrow, and that'll put it in there for us. Now, since we know by looking at it here, it's 4.23 seconds. So I'm going to go ahead and put in a delay of 4.23 seconds. And then we want to ensure, and I'll share what will happen here, is even without the delay in here. Let's go ahead and compile and save. If we just tell it to play the animation, what's going to happen is, okay, you do your jiggly thing. Let's go. If you do it, she will do the animation. Lovely. Okay, but as you see, we are no longer walking. She loses all of her regular animations. So what we're going to have to do is tell it to go back to her regular animation system. So I'm going to tie my delay back in, and I am going to learn how to type. We're going to set animation instance class. Again, there might be other ways of doing this, but this is what I'm doing, and it works. So now we're going to go back to our Paragon animation blueprint, compile and save, and let's see how that works. So, okay, she does her little starting thing. We hit F, blow kiss, and now she's walking again. So if I hit it, you see that she's going to slide around. It's not going to combine the animations. So her feet are going to be constantly moving. So what can we do here? Well, the easiest thing to do is just to tell her to stop moving. So during that 4.23 seconds, we need to get her to stop movement. So how can we do that? Well, if we type in stop, we can stop animation, and it's not what we want to do. We don't want to stop jumping. We don't want to stop animation montage. Stop movement immediately. Okay, well, for the giggles of it, we're going to try that and see how that works. And if it works, then we can just roll with that and start adding in the second one. So she does her little start animation thing. Okay, it stops it, but it doesn't keep stopping it. We want to stop all movement. So we know it's going to be something off of the character movement. So we need to come up with some way of stopping all of the movement of the character until the animation is completed. And was there anything else in stop? No. So let's look at some other options here. This is how simple a lot of things are here. We don't want to set game pause or, set pause anims. Maybe not. And type in movement. We could disable movement. But if we disable movement, then is that going to stop the animation? So that's something we have to consider as well. But let's see what happens. Well, it stops her, and it won't go, so now we just need to, after the end of that, we need to tell it to resume. So if we disabled it, then we want to enable movement, right? So shouldn't that be a thing? So let's check movement again. So if we disable the movement, we should be able to enable movement. And that I don't see. Well, since we have a deactivate and activate, we might have to try those. Disable character movement. Alright, so I'm going to go up here and I'm going to go ahead and put in the activate character movement. Since if I'm going to put in the deactivate, then we'll go that way. But let's see if that'll actually take care of the issue. Yay, do your thing. Alright, she does her animation, and nope, we still can't move. So let's try replacing this one with, and that was activate, so let's try to deactivate. And let's see if that works. Alright. Do your thing, dearest. Alright, it deactivated it and it reactivated it. How about that? So I'm trying to walk right now and it's not letting me because it's in the deactivated state. So I think that's going to work. So with that system, what we've done is we have told it to perform the animation, deactivate our character movement, wait 4.23 seconds, and then reset our animation instance back to our regular animations. And then it tells us, we tell it to reactivate the movement. So that's good. That works. But that's only one. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to stretch that out. I'm going to copy this. And I'm going to paste this back in. And I'm going to kind of line them up a little bit just because I'm OCD. And I'm going to go ahead and throw these down here. Again, no particular reason whatsoever, just because it looks good. So, with having two set up, let's go ahead and look at the next animation in line. It's going to be Booyah. So I can just come right over here and change that one to Booyah. And since I know that there's going to be two more, I can go ahead and copy both of those and paste. And now we have 4. And let's go ahead and grab clap. Give her the clap. And give her some peace. Alright, so now next thing we need to go back to is, alright, Booyah is 5 seconds. So Booyah was here. Let's change our delay to 5 seconds. Happy is 4.6. So we'll say 4.66. And the final one was 5.4. No, 4.6. No, that's right, 5.4. So we'll put 5.4. So we now have one for each of these, but how can we make it work as a random? Well, first off, we can also come to right here. And instead of running to here, we can actually tell it to go to this one. So we know that that particular one worked correctly. So I'm going to compile and save. And just for the giggles of it, I'm going to come out here and Booyah. And return to normal. So we know that they're going to work this way. So we need to come up with a way of, when we hit the F key, it will randomly generate one of these right here. And we will compact them all down to much smaller size here soon. So what we're going to have to do is come up a way with randomly picking between these two. And the best way to randomly pick between something is to give them a number. Makes sense. So you can pick a number from 1 to 4 and it'll choose from that. So there's so many different ways you can actually do this. Let's actually go ahead and we're going to create a variable. Let's call it the taunt number. I don't know what I'm going to do with it just yet. I'm just kind of making this up as I go along. And the type is going to be probably going to be a byte or an integer. Yeah, let's go ahead and go with an integer. And let's compile, save, taunt number. So that we can work with. So the taunt number is default is 0. So let's do something to tell it that that animation is going to be that. So let's look at the fact that we need 4 identifiers. I know what I'm doing here. I just have not had near enough coffee today. Good old cup of coffee. So the way we can assign these a number, we need to create a way to say this is number 1, number 2, number 3, and number 4. Because what we're going to end up doing is from when we hit the press F, we're going to do pick from a random integer Why is it anytime that I'm trying to do this, there's always something that just has to screw with my head. So we'll do random integer in range. So we need to do that. That's why I couldn't link it directly in here. So we're going to go, even if you can do 0, I'm going to use from 1 through 4. And then from this, we need to say that this animation is an integer number. So to choose this, all right. People watching right now are saying, what the hell are you doing? You don't know what you're doing. Actually, I had it all planned up in my head of what I was going to do, and then actually just totally screwed up. Let's actually go ahead and create another variable here, and I'm going to call this taunt, and let's set that as an array. And let's call it a let's go ahead and compile that so we can actually see what the array is going to look like. We've got no elements in there, so I want to add in 4 elements, and we're going to call it 1, 2, 3, and 4. Compile and save. And with that element, when you look at it right here, you've got the ability to call out. All right, so loop body, the executable, the break, there's array index. It's not actually what we wanted to use here, but max of integer array and minimum. If we were to actually change the integer into a string, all right, no results found. We just converted over, and that string is now 4. Probably is going to be best is to promote. We'll try promoting this to a variable. No, it's going to be one of those things where everything I try is just going to backfire on me. And this is what I say whenever I'm doing these things, I'm just doing this stuff off the hip. I have an idea of what I want to do, and then I sit down and I do it. Unreal Engine 4 is not really that hard to work with if you just experiment with it a little bit and see what you can do. If you just say, well, I can't do this, and you hear a lot of people who just, they give up, or they don't really try, or they try 1 or 2 things and then they quit. And the whole point is you need to sit there and keep experimenting with things and figure it out. So I know that we're going to need to do the random integer from range, so we can pick from number from 1 to 4. If anybody's watching and has any suggestions, jump right in and say something. I am watching the chat here now, and I'm also watching the Paragon tutorial series portion of my Discord channel. Unless you guys want to watch me scream, and squirm around here. So we do have that. And then we want to... I don't want to have to sit there and create a single variable for this particular one, but I may end up having to. Because what I'm going to have to do is I need to take this integer value, and I also need to assign each one of those. The reason why I pulled that up there is in that string, if we were to actually put it in there as a name, and then pull that out here and get the name of it, with the array of those being names, we have to break that variable down. Alright, so I'm just totally floundering here. With sounds, it's easy. You have a sound cue. It's not like in animations where you have an animation cue directly. Because with a sound cue, if you look at how they're set up, and yes, I'm stalling. A sound cue. You go into the sound cue. Here you have 3 different ones, and if you break it down and play the cue, it will randomly. It has a random node. It'll randomly pick between them. So that's easy. I'm used to working with sound cues and things like that, but working with picking a random integer, and I've done that before as well. Actually, let's try something a little bit different here. Physical animation data. Got widget animation, physical animation component, object reference. And then I'm going to do a compile and save real quick. There we go. So now that we've got those done, we can go ahead and set these. And let's see if it'll cooperate in being easy this time. For blowing a kiss. And no, it is not picking it. It's physical animation. That's the one we wanted. Let's try it. Physical animation data. No. Try that one. Animation to play. And it is not looping. So now let's try the next one. Booyah. I'm going to open up both of these here. So the next one was the happy clap. and peace. So we may be able to change this around here, and instead of doing the animation to play here and running this 4 times, we might be able to change this around and reconfigure it. So I'm turning off looping on all of these. Alright, so we have 4 elements here. We have all 4 of those animations. And let's see if I can minimize it. And it's not going to show them, but default value. Now we can actually get a copy or get a reference to it. I'm wondering if we can actually do something random off of this one. No. Variables. Well, we can set, and then in the array, we have shuffle. That's kind of nice there. So what happens if we just use a shuffle? So if we're doing shuffle on this part of it right here, let's actually drag this over, move it out of the way, and we'll try doing this completely different now that we've set all of those in the array. The thing is, I don't know a whole lot about arrays, so you know what? I'm going to try it. Well, see, there's no output pin of that. So if I were to say, when I press F, it randomizes these animations. Okay, is it good? It's not going to tell it to play, because if we just do it like this, hit F, it doesn't do anything. It's not actually running the animations. And there's nothing to go from here to here. And refreshing nodes didn't do anything. So yeah, that's lovely. We would need an output pin to come from that. Swap array elements, set array elements. Alright, so yeah, that's not going to work for us. So, like I said, experimenting around, trying to figure out a way to do this. And there's other ways of doing it, and I get these senior moments to where I just completely forget. I'm losing viewers. All right. Going to go about this a different way here. It's not going to work the way that I wanted it to. So we still need to come back and assign the individual emotes or animations, we need to go ahead and assign them an individual number. So I'm going to go ahead and create a variable, and I'm going to call this, what was the first animation was called? Blow Kiss. And we'll call this. And it's a single animation. So what happens if we just run it this way? The animation here, and then we can run that animation directly into this one. Wow. Set taunt number. So when we actually click on the F key, it's going to set the taunt number by picking a random number between 1 and 4. And usual branch statement. I mean, we could do it this way. It wasn't how I really envisioned on doing it, but let's drag this over here. And if taunt number, which we can actually run that from here. We don't actually want to run it from there. We want to run it from there, but we want to do equals to 1. This is the long way of doing it, sorry. If it is 1, then we're going to play this. If the number is, and actually Control C, Control V, and Control V, so we have all 4 of them. And then we will link this over to here, to the top part of it, and then if it's equal to 2 and 3 and 4, so then we need to run our branches here as well. Make sure we're going to want to come off of the false into the true and go here. So if 2 is true, then we're going to run this animation and branch it out that way. And if not, then we want to, if 3 true, we go here and let's move this back one more time. So from the false on this one, we'll set if it is 4, we'll go to here. So this is the one that I was avoiding trying to do, but it works. So what we've done is created a branch node system to run through. It will pick a random number between 1 and 4. It will say, okay, if it's 1, we do this animation. If it's 2, we're going to do this one. If it's 3, we're going to do that one, and 4. So we're going to hit compile and save, and let's go ahead and run a test on it. All right. So hit the F key, and she's going to blow a kiss. F key again, blowing a kiss again. So let's find where that mistake was. number is equal to 1. We do it this way. And I think what it is we're missing out on closing it back in. It performs the animation. From 1 to 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. We could probably even. No, we need to run that. So, what's happening is it was setting the animation correctly. And there she's doing that one. Go back and take a look at this. I'm actually going to drag this blueprint off and onto another screen here so I can actually watch the tree of what's going on, and I can actually play it at the same time. So I can see whenever I hit F key, I can see which animation's being played. The joy of trial by error. Alright, so it's working. It's picking between those random numbers, and it'll perform those animations and go about it doing it that way. Pain in the butt to get there, but yay, it works. So if we wanted to from there, since we now have it working, we know that it will randomly choose between those animations and go back to the normal animation so we can walk again. So we know that it works. If we wanted to add in additional things like sounds or effects or anything like that, let's look at the sound cues again one more time. And
to all my fans.
well, we know that that one is for blowing a kiss. So we can actually come in here, and since we're going to do it on all 4 of them, I'm going to go ahead and move this over here so I have enough room to work with. And then we're going to play sound at location, and we can just get the mesh. We can actually do this one time instead of dragging it down for all 4 of them. So we get our location and just split it between all 4 of them. So from here, we're going to go ahead and get world location, and then we can use this same one and just run it across all 4 of them. Like that. So now that we have a location to actually play the sound, we can go ahead and assign that one. And for the booyah, is there a remote that goes, or emote sound?
That's right. Bring it.
Close enough for government work. So Control C. Actually, let's do it manually so that we can keep it linked. Play sound at location. You can drag it around, get it nice, hit that, and do the same thing again. And we'll just need to go pick out the sound files for these other 2. Grab our location. And we need a sound file for Happy Clap.
Thanks. Yep. Nah. Oops. sorry. I'm not a fan of yours.
Lovely. For that, I guess we can just go ahead and see if we can find one for her clapping.
Woo!
You would think there would be one, simply because, well, yeah. Instead of searching through them all this way, we can actually clap. No. Happy. No. So we'll just pick one at random here so that we can make it work, so that we can move on to something else. All right.
Oh, did you want an autograph? I'm not a fan of yours.
Oh, that's good enough. So let's go ahead and assign that one, and then we got the peace one.
Can't stop me.
And we'll do that one. Alright, so now we've added in sound files for him. She should do the animation and play a sound all at the same time. Compile and save and play. So,
That's right. Bring it.
wow, it even puts text down there? What is it, subtitles? Really? Lovely.
Mwah, to all my fans. Mwah, to all my fans.
Alright, so it's buggy at best, but it's something to start off with. And since I kind of stammered through this video and kind of killed a lot of time on it, but I promise I will be a lot more efficient on the next video. Like the next one in line tonight is going to be the pirate game, so stay tuned. Like I said, if you guys got any suggestions, get with me on the Discord channel, and we'll figure out how to make it work. Alright guys, thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon here in the next video.